Hey Aquarius, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. This is the first time that I've been doing tarot readings online, specifically to YouTube. As you can see, it's a bit late in the night, so if I sound a bit quiet, it's because I've got other flatmates who are kind of sleeping. But hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be able to hear what I'm saying to you. It's like completely falling out on me. So yeah, I'm basically going to be doing a tarot reading from the beginning of July to the 15th of July 2017 this year. I will be doing these bi-weekly, so if you would like to keep up to date, then if you could please subscribe, that would be awesome. And yeah, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to pass along a message or be able to kind of get an overview of what is happening with you guys at the moment. But yeah, super excited to do this. So this is a tarot reading for Aquarius from the beginning of July to the 15th of July 2017. Super excited. Let's see what happens. Sorry, I was just like, good. First card comes out. Okay, so first card that's come out for you guys is the Strength card. And the Strength card often comes in at a time where sometimes we've had to find the inner strength to not take it out on others, not take it out on ourselves, to tame the beast within. And I love the Strength card because it's where you should be at your best. Whenever the Strength card comes along, it's a kind of signal that you are doing great, you are trying to be as strong as possible, or you're feeling like you're actually gaining some kind of power, that you're on top, and almost enlightened as well, of this kind of realization that I can do this. And this new kind of revelation, I would like to say, not for all Aquariuses, but it could be because of a new love interest that has come in quite recently. And this is because we've got the Ace of Cups crossing the Strength card. So through this new person coming into your life, you've been able to find the inner strength. They might have been able to have tamed your, I guess, desires to maybe kind of be a bit out there and not grounded, and not feeling like you had a purpose. So this is really great because obviously your emotions are probably focused at the moment on this new love interest, but you should also feel this kind of inside truly, especially when these two are combos. So if you have recently met somebody and you need a little bit more of an affirmation, then this is basically good news. But what I will say, and now I understand why this could mean so much to you, is because of previous attachments which were stopping you from having your own freedom, controlling individuals, unlikable individuals, being unable to properly let go of connections which are toxic. these connections that are toxic come from the Devil card in your previous history. And the Devil card is a situation where there are two people. In the original Rider-Waite deck, there's a man and a woman, and they have chains over their necks, and they are attached to essentially a devil-like figure. So the devil-like figure is supposedly in control, but because he's big and powerful and he's got this massive ego, he can influence people to do things because of fear, or potentially because they are completely unaware that what he is doing is actually not what they want to do. So if you are talking or asking me questions through here, questions in relationships, Aquarius, then what's happened in the past is people have been very manipulative or unable to give you the true freedoms that you've wanted, and it's been able to loosen that tie, be able to perhaps succeed on your own accord. Perhaps you've been trying to, or in the past, be single for a set amount of time through fear of falling for that wrong one, falling for the people who you shouldn't be hanging out with, and you should have gained some new self-respect. No, why does the Devil card come with self-respect? Well, I'm saying this because you've got the Four of Swords crossing over on the Devil card. The Four of Swords, let me just put down the Devil card here. Four of Swords often comes up when someone has a lot of mental activity going up in there. In fact, maybe several different things that are going on. And they just need to take, quite literally, a break. So what do? They seem to kind of cut off from people for a while. And now I've learned little bits about Aquarius through some of my friends, but you might have a tendency to kind of just disappear on your own little adventure and then come suddenly back, which is absolutely fine. I can't completely understand that, especially if you have a need for it. But what's happened is you completely avoided any opportunity to have connections with people through fear of the wrong one, which is perfectly makes sense, because if you were hurt, if you felt manipulated, if people were exploiting you, exploiting your emotions, making you feel trapped and unable to get away, then own solitude and time out to kind of figure out where it all went wrong, and to give you the space to properly get over them would have benefited you so much. So you have avoided the devil situation from reoccurring by quite literally just lying down, doing a little bit of meditating, focusing on your own self, wants and needs and desires, and kind of hearing it and taking a step back and saying, now's the time for me to focus on me. You weren't in the right space to have been in a relationship, and I think it was really good timing for you in that sense as well, because sometimes if we have been in a very controlling relationship, especially if we don't even realise that we've been controlled, and you love someone very much, even afterwards, and you don't let go of them because of perhaps you still do love them, perhaps you still have that sexual intimacy, that's still lust for them, the worst thing you can do is re-enter a relationship still feeling about that person. So you guys probably did the right thing by staying clear of new people, and focusing on the ones which you knew that you could trust around you, and potentially going off on your own little adventure. So I'm not saying anything massive like you want to travel the world on your own, but what you guys would have had a tendency to have done quite recently in the past, so I'm saying within the previous 2 to 3 months ish, is that you decided to kind of go it alone. Focus on what I've already said, which was the solitude, focus on self-love, which is really kind of nice. I would like to say. So this completely makes sense with the cards that you've got right now, because you had to find the inner strength to basically go out off on your own, and to find ways to love yourself again, to give yourself more self-respect. And by doing that, and by loving yourself, or learning, hopefully, fingers crossed, you learn yourself. Some people might not have just met somebody, but you should be in the progress of learning to love yourself better and avoiding toxic relationships. But with the Strength card crossing over the Ace of Cups, if you guys have done what these cards are saying, then this is the absolute perfect time to create new connections with individuals, or to have met somebody who will allow you to realise how strong you've been, how much you have actually done, and so far you've gone it so far alone, and you've got this far, which is amazing. But because you've learned that self-love, now is the perfect time for you to find somebody new who will feel that emotions thing, because you might have seemed a bit cold to others for a little while, because you were scared of basically being in a relationship because of what happened. But yeah, so I've got one final card for you guys, and that is the Nine of Swords. Now, the Nine of Swords relates to too much mental activity and generally the female hysteria. This card comes along in original right away. Is sorry guys, depicted as a guy, not a girl, a woman lying on bed, and she has essentially put her hands up to her face, and she's crying, and it's real chronic tears. So this is trouble being able to sleep, trouble being able to probably put your mind at rest, over worrying, overthinking, and so this card comes in the future, and it doesn't look like a really great card, but I'd like to see it as a warning, because there's always opportunities for you to kind of avoid this from happening. For starters, try not to over worry. I know it's so hard to kind of not do, but we all do have a tendency to do it, and your worry may be that it's going too well with the person. There's not really that much bad that's happening, and if you've been with them recently, there's no kind of sign of it being bad, so you might be feeling very paranoid that this new person who's entered your life could well be something or somebody to worry about, or may not be as truthful to you. Essentially, you're worried about them being that devil card. You are worried about them being that person that you should be avoiding. So all I can really say about this is communication with this new individual is key. Check body language, check the way that they are speaking to you. But as it is in a relationship as well, my own little advice: one foot in the water, one foot out. It's still new, it's still early days. You have gone so far, and you can, and even you know that you could be alright on your own, but you don't want false hope. You want this to be the one. You want this to be something that you can properly work on, and you don't want to lose your strength in it. So have your will. If something doesn't feel right, you know that it's not right. Sorry for my little relationship advice stuff. I just kind of like to put that in whenever I'm speaking to my readers, and obviously you guys watching. So thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you guys. If you can click subscribe, that would be great. If you could like, because it resonates well with you, then awesome. And I will be uploading again in 2 weeks. So thank you guys. Blessings.